people being killed every day. And it's just time to do something about it. And that's why we came up with the thing E2, Enough is Enough, in memory of my cousin, Jason Harrington. So, we got to do something about it.
And in honor of that, the graphic that you see on the screen at current time was actually made from a tribute that you did.
Yeah, a balloon release. It was his birthday, his 20th birthday. Well, you know what? It wasn't even 20. He died at 18, so it was his 19th birthday. So we did a balloon release here in Sanford, just in honor of him. I mean, I'm sure there's more people that we could have done a balloon release for, or there's more people that we could list, but that meant a lot to me because he was my cousin.
Yeah.
So, it's just time out. We got to do something to bring awareness to what is going on with our young people.
Right.
And it's not even the old people, it's the young people that's killing each other. That's a good question.
That's a discussion for
a
a
whole other topic. Yeah.
Another topic.
Yeah.
We'll come back and talk about it again.
Yeah.
Because we need some prevention. I think that you had something.
Yes, so I had no idea. First of all, I'm sending my condolences. My brother was murdered in 2012. He was my little brother. He was in a car minding his business, and it was meant for the person next to him. And he was shot directly in his head, and the passenger was shot in their elbow. And so it was devastating. We went through trials, we went through anger, all of that. And what people don't understand is that it's hurting both sides of the family.
Exactly.
It's not just the shooter, but it's also the victim.
The victim.
Okay. And now we're creating dissension again between Black families, and it's never ending. So, that right there, my tattoo right here, my brother, that will never leave me.
Right.
Okay. It actually, and I, not to change the subject, but I actually went into school for funeral home directing. So I have my certificate to cremate. And what I would like to do is to bring a all Black owned cremation business for us, because people don't understand death is serious, and we can't really trust everybody to handle us. And so that's where I came in. I wanted to open a women-owned cremation business, train women that not to be afraid of death, because it's okay. Provide daycare for them, teach them a skill, because when we were slaves, that was what we did. We did mortuary science. Okay, that's bred in us. And so I would like to bring that back. Angel investors, wherever y'all at, we here. But not to take your shine, but that was really rang true to me. So I would love to be a part of your cause. Whatever you need, I'm down, because I'm there. So
soon we're gonna all get together.
Absolutely. Let's do that.
Absolutely.
I've had, and it's a shame, because I've had numerous cousins pass as the result of gun violence. And it's too many right now to even count and even come up with the names. And it's very unfortunate. And like you said, it's something that is happening in our communities, and we need to get to the root cause and the problems, the issues that's driving this, because it's something there. I know a lot of folks like to blame the music and the entertainment and this, that, and the other, but it's not that. It's a lot more to it. It's the idolization of things that create a domino effect that leads to that end result of making it feel like it's okay to do that.
Right.
And that's what needs to be addressed.
Right.
Brother Joe, do you have any insight into that? And then I'm going to go to a gentleman. We have Mondavvy Beats. This brother right here, Mondavvy Beats, he's from Minnesota. Shouts out to Minnesota.
Hey.
The cold land. It's cold there. It's cold. But anyway, we're going to go to him in a moment. But Joe, do you have any insight into this topic?
Yeah, I mean, you all pretty much summed it up for me. I mean, I think that, obviously gun violence is a serious problem, in our community, and not nearly enough is being done to address it. in my opinion.
Right.
You know, to get to the real root of the problem. You know, we want to go and arrest people for committing the murders, but it's too late at that point. You know, the people are already deceased. You know, we need to figure out, you know, why kids feel like they need to carry guns and why they feel like they need to take a life and why they feel like other people's lives are, you know, less than whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? So I think that's what we really need to get to, is to figure out what those root causes are and try to prevent them so that we can, people can lead, you know, long, productive lives instead of having families shattered by loved ones being deceased by gun violence.
And I'd like to thank Montier ME for that comment before we go to Mondavvy Beats. We're going to throw him on into this conversation simply because of where he is from and where he is at. What's going on, Mr. Mondavvy Beats?
All right. I'm in here. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you fine. Or should I say, AKA DJ Del Dylan? You know when you got, you know when you have Dylan on your name, you know you are nice.
That's right.
And full disclosure, I went on and I listened to one of your mixes, your neo soul mixes. Woo.
Oh wow! Oh okay.
Yeah. See, I do my research.
You dug it up. You did your research. Salute.
Yeah, I do my research. Yeah. It was nice.
Thank you.
It was nice.
First
off, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the ChynaGroove podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem at all. And a little background. I've been following this brother right here on Instagram for a minute. And we've been kind of back and forth. You know, I do some production. This man does some serious production. And like I said, he's from, you're in Minneapolis, correct?
Minneapolis, North Side, born and raised. That's correct.
Okay. It's still cold there. But
it's not getting cold yet. I mean, we had a few days where it was raining and all that good stuff. We had a break in that today. But DGroove, brother, I've been definitely checking you out as well. I was going to ask who produced the music that plays into your show. It was dope. I don't know who did it.
I mean, come on now.
That's you?
That's
okay. You know, a little competition. All right.
Hey, no, not competition, brother. Because I've heard some of your tracks, and I'm like, whoa, I got to step my game. Iron sharpens iron. That's the way I look at it. Yeah.
All right.
So since we're talking on this topic, before we get to you as an artist, can you, since you are in Minneapolis, we all know what happened in your neck of the woods and what went on out there as far as violence. It wasn't gun violence, but how do you feel about that topic before we get into you as an artist?
Minneapolis is not unlike any other major city. We deal with our aspects of violence. You're alluding to the murder of George Floyd that kind of brought notoriety to our town, but it was in direct response to what we saw. You know, we were tired of just the state of the policing in our city. So we were tired of that, you know, like a lot of people were, and we rose up and we had something to say about that. But as far as the violence that we see amongst our community, just like you said, there's a lot of different variations as to why it happens. We just need to sit down and talk about it. But it really starts at home. You know, it really starts at home. It starts with the values that you instill, keeping, you know, the youth occupied with different positive activities. You know, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. That rings true. So stay on top of the youth. That's a good way to start.
Indeed. And to that note, you know, I also noticed that you have DJ'd and done some things at some great events in your area. I want to say socially conscious events.
Yes.
How do you use your music to that end, as far as, like you just said, as far as giving things to do for the youth to do? Do you mentor youth? Do you know, what's your approach with music?
Basically opening them up to something that they're not used to hearing. Yes, I have Dylan in my name. I'm very true to the essence of hip hop, the elements of what they stand for, because hip hop started from a social move or from a political and social economical movement. There's political aspects to that, to where if you teach the children that through the music, through the songs that you choose to play, it can model positive aspects in their lives.
Absolutely.
Indeed, we were listening to Sirius XM radio, and we were listening to Old School, and they played Beat Street Breakdown. Remember that cut?
Of course.
And he said, "Don't fall victim to the computer." Way back when, already in the lyrics. So, like you say, it's that socially conscious approach in music.
Right.
And you know what? See if you or not understand, but see if you agree with this point. Back in, I want to say, the heyday of hip hop, and I'm glad that you specified hip hop as a culture and not just rap. There's a huge difference.
Very large.
Huge difference. But back in the day, you used to have diversity. Not only was it a diverse amount of things that you could listen to, but you had a large portion of it which was socially conscious.
Yep.
A large portion of it that spoke on what was going on in the communities and tried to give solutions and tried to give warnings and tried to give all of that. I mean, stop the violence, that movement. You had all of those things that was happening, and you don't see that as often these days at all. It's completely the reverse. It's all about bragging about committing violence. It's all about that portion of it, as opposed to the art of creating music lyrically and doing the beat in a way that melds and matches that, and it sits in somebody's head to where they're like, now they're thinking while they're nodding their head.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that?
So it's funny that you bring that up. That forces us to ask the question, why did that change? Because even before we were on the radio, when we were making hip hop in the streets, it was about a message. Okay, you got you're an MC. Okay, what are you talking about? Then we, it started making money. We started to get on the radio, and then we came out with songs like "Stop the Violence," like you're talking about. KRS One was hitting on the charts. EPMD. It was hip hop. It was conscious. And then what happened? I saw a video a while back where this white gentleman was giving a lecture to a crowd at a university, and he posed the question, why is it that hip hop is the only genre of music that is allowed to play music that talks about, excuse my language, shaking asses, popping your gun, twisting up, smoking, doing all of these, exhibiting all of these destructive traits? Why is that the only genre of music that's being allowed on the radio or in the public sphere? We don't hear that in any other culture. So that's a big problem, because that's messaging to the youth, because they're tuned in. They listen to that. They idolize the people that they listen to. So there was a switch, in the music. Why is that? And I mean, we could have a whole, conversation
like
about
that.
That's a
down
whole
the rabbit hole, right?
And,
That was
infiltration.
So
that was the grand design, though. That was the grand
Yes.
design, to have us switch and flip it.
right.
And so now we're no longer paying attention to, respect your mom and do your chores, and parents just don't understand.
Right.
They've already switched that. And once you switch the culture, it's very hard to come back. That grand design was set for us to do that. We're going to spend so much time focusing on turning up, shaking it, eyelashes, glued hair, all this other stuff, that we don't know what's going on in the masses. We don't know what's going on. Like,
What's real anymore?
What's real and what's fake.
I like what's in the ring room right now, mother and son.
Yes. promoting her child.
Yes.
And he's singing beautiful music.
Yes.
Music that everyone can listen to.
Everyone can listen to it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Joe, look like you had something to add to that.
Yeah, actually, I do. So I'm listening and I'm agreeing with everything you all are saying on the topic. But I guess my question to the panel, I guess to the listeners, is how much responsibility does the artist bear in all of this? Was it just the labels that are pushing this agenda? Does the artist have the responsibility to say, I'm not going to do this? I'm going to do this my own way? Yeah.
That's a very good question. Artist responsibility is essential, is vital. It's a conversation that many different industries can have. It's about labor. What type of equity do you put into what you're producing and what you're putting out? How much skin do you have in that game? Do you care? Okay, if you don't, then why are you picking up that prestigious mantle of being an artist where you control whole, stadiums of people, millions of records? Why are you, if you don't feel invested in what you're talking about as an artist? But here's the thing, going back to what I was speaking on, we don't control, messaging because we don't control the messaging. We're not the ones controlling. We're not controlling the commercial radio stations that are now flooding the airways with the music that you hear. We're not controlling the labels that are producing. We're not the A&Rs that are going out looking for those type of talented artists that are speaking about something. We're not in those positions unless we're in those positions, and you can only get there if you're independent. If you're the one controlling, you're the one dictating what you're talking about.
Now, see, that's a very, very, very valuable point right there, and that leads me to my next statement that I'm going to make. Some of those out there might not like it, but I'm going to make it anyway. And Joe, I think we've had this discussion before in the past. But the independent route, that's cool. The independent route is where you are typically going to find the most diversity in the music because it's true to the art form and not typically about the money that they stand to make from it. They just are doing it because they love the art.
Right.
Now, on the flip side of that, you have somebody like a Puffy or Jermaine Dupri, or, if you want to name, well, Russell Simmons isn't as rich as he used to be for some reason. Oh,
he's
The
very
kids took all the money.
no, that's a whole other topic too, because I know what happened with that. It's a shame. But anyway, let's say if we put the top 3 moguls in black music or in hip hop together, they have the power, if they so choose, to put out responsible music if they so choose. Notice what I keep saying. If they so choose. They can do it because they have that stature. They have the connection to the networks, the distribution. They have all of that available to them at the snap of their fingers. And they can do it. But for whatever reason, just like Miranda was saying, it's an agenda. They don't do it.
Right.
If they decided to, same thing with the streaming dollars being so low. If they wanted to, suppose all of these head honchos said, you know what? If you don't start paying our artists more for streaming, we're not giving you the rights to stream our music, period.
Right.
Do like Dave Chappelle did. Dave Chappelle said, don't watch my movie on Netflix.
Don't watch
Why?
it. Yep.
Because Dave Chappelle was not getting paid the money he was supposed to be getting paid.
Right.
And guess what happened? People stopped watching it. And guess what happened? Netflix paid the man.
Right. And to add, to piggyback off of what you were saying, we can take the case of Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill was beautifying us as women. She was standing up for us, telling us what true love is, speaking positivity into us. And look what happened. When she didn't do what they said she was supposed to do, they blackballed her. And so what also happens with artists is they want to do the good thing and speak their truth and bring and touch the masses. But what happens is they're at a crossroad. You're going to get this money and you're going to sing it the way I want you to do it, or you're not going to sing it at all. And so because we're not used to having money, Now we've changed. Now it's changed. You know, Lauryn Hill's a perfect. She hasn't even performed. That woman's album was double platinum.
Yeah.
And look where she's at now. Because she chose to say, look, no, I'm not about to tell my black people drink, smoke, you know, let a man have 18 babies on you. I'm not about to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to empower my people and put love back into their lives.
Right.
And look what happened. You know,
like we having a conversation.
Yes. Well, I feel like snapping right now.
About some real topics.
Yes.
That's right.
Before we switch back though, Mondavvy Beats, I'm gonna make this about you.
Okay.
Now, I've described your production style as, you know, in my head, as eclectic neo soul. That's the way that I look at it. Whenever I hear your tracks. And I mean, you definitely have a jazz influence that I can also detect. It's you know, I hate saying this next one, but you definitely have a lo-fi vibe to you.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a mashup of all of that together. Am I right on that?
You're absolutely correct. You know, I'm a student of Jay Dilla. He's the king of lo-fi beats. Nuabe's lo-fi. You know. Yes. Thank you.
I definitely want to lace one of these beats down.
And see, Quiet as Kept, my wife is the singer. She's pretty good.
Okay. Miss ChynaDoll. It's nice to meet you. Yes.
Likewise.
Nice to meet you.
I'm a little biased. She's pretty good.
She is. That's actually how we met at that fashion show. I was like, girl, you better stop it, girl. The voice was angelic.
Oh, bless you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm hogging up all the questions. Do you have any questions for Mr. Mondavvy Beats?
I had to let some guests off if they had other engagements to get to. But my question is, who influenced your style other than Jay Dilla musically? He was a genius, of course, but who would you say, like, as a child, who did you first hear and you said, oh, I want to do music?
That's a very as a kid. I've always at first I listened to who had the best lyrics. So, you know, I kind of came of age in the 90s, so I gravitated towards Common.
Nice.
Common. He was Common Sense back in the day. His producer was No ID. He's very jazz oriented. Definitely a lot of Tribe. I listened to a lot of Nas, a lot of East Coast. I listen to everything. Like one of my first memories, I'm talking about like, man, I was really young. I listened to Rappin' Duke, Da Ha. You know, I'm talking about way back in the day. You know, Houdini's, you know, Freaks Come Out at Night. I've always listened to music. My mom brought us up in the church when we were younger, so I listened to, you know, a lot of gospel. So I got a lot of that soul filled. Pops, you know, he was kind of different, his music style. It was a lot of jazz. That's where that comes in. He introduced me to Tracy Chapman at an early age. So I was listening to kind of, different kind of music. And I've always gravitated towards it. DJing helped me express myself. I was shy, I was an introverted to myself type person, and music just like, man, it changed my life, you know. So, you know, even at my age, you know, I got, you know, daughters that one daughter's in college, one that graduated. So I got gray hairs in my beard, and I've been a DJ since '97, and I just started making beats 3 years ago. So whatever I can do to add to this genre we call hip hop. Happy 50th anniversary to the you know, to the genre.
Yes.
I will do that. Don't let anybody, you know, shame you for being a certain age still in this music game. You know, they only do it to hip hop. They don't talk about you know, the Rolling Stones is almost 90 years old, and you know they don't do that to anybody else.
And still going,
Indeed.
You know,
They're
so
literally being plugged up on the stage.
and you know what? And I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's something that I have noticed throughout hip hop. And I keep saying hip hop for a reason, but it seems like the old school is just tossed to the side and forgotten by today's rap listeners, and deemed as, oh, that's whack, oh, that's corny, oh, that's man, we don't like that. But if you didn't have that, none of this would be where it's at right now. You know, those artists back then, and that's actually how I met Joe Foster. I can actually thank music for a very good friend of mine, because this was back when I was doing college radio.
That's right.
This man right here just heard that there was a radio show at VCU, stopped by the radio station, and we've been friends ever since.
Wow.
So we met because of basically hip hop and music. You know what I'm saying? So it's that old school that builds that foundation that people are just like, man, it doesn't matter. No, it matters. It truly does matter.
It does. Yeah, I'll just add to that story a little bit, Derek. So I actually came to VCU because a friend of mine in college was managing a guy in her hometown, and I happened to have his tape. So I was trying to help push that tape. Came to VCU, dropped it off. And then Derek gave me a call and said, hey, man, come down to the studio. Let's chop it up. And like you said, ever since then, it's been a great friendship. So
I bet you if I dug deep enough, I probably still have that tape somewhere.
You gotta dig it up. That's history.
Wow.
That's right.
And you know what? I went through the whole artist management thing and did all of that. And then that's something else. And let me see, Mondavvy, if you agree with this.
Okay.
Joe knows, because you know he was right there with me through that phase when I was managing artists. We did things the hard way back then. You know, we had to put together a street team.
Yeah.
We had to actually put in the legwork and actually be out there
putting flyers on
flyers on all over the place.
Yes.
Printing up all kinds of things at Kinko's, spending like 12 hours and don't nobody know nothing about Kinko's.
Kinko's, you better say it.
You know, it was like they stayed open 24 hours. You go in there, get on their computer, do all kinds of things, go out right in there, just staple them up, tape them up.
No Wi-Fi.
Matter of fact, and Joe, I don't know if Joe was with me then, but we actually one day we're putting up posters for my artist that I was managing, and guess who we saw out there putting posters up?
Who?
Pause for effect. Mad Skills.
Oh,
is the name that? Mad Skills was in Richmond, Virginia. Him and his crew, the Super Friends.
Wow.
Mad Skills.
Right.
He's got mad skills. Back then he was nice. He
yes,
was but he had like Joe was saying, Kalanji, Lonnie B, Joe Dozier, all of them. Oh, funny story about Joe Dozier. Joe, you might not know this, but may he rest in peace. Joe Dozier passed away. But he did a song called Throw Them Bows. Those three words sound familiar, and I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. They shot that demo tape in Atlanta before Luda did his song Southern Hospitality. And if you listen to both versions of both songs, I'm sorry, Luda, don't come looking for me, but you stole that man's song.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow. You heard it here first.
I mean, if you go to YouTube, it's on YouTube. Joe Dozier, Throw Them Bows. Listen to that, and then listen to Southern Hospitality, and you be the judge as to which one.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But my point was that we actually had to do things the hard way. Sampling back then was even harder to do because you didn't have all of the memory. You had not even a tenth of the memory that you have now. You know, it was difficult. And the producers these days, and that's why music sounds the same now. I use it. I'm guilty of it, and I'm sure you do as well. You get these beat packs that are out, but everybody just is using the same sounds over and over again. What's your take on that before we get out of this subject?
That's definitely true. But it's in how you freak it, how you make it sound like yours, so you got to use your creativity. But shout out to Virginia. I'm hearing a whole lot of Virginia shout outs. My daughter graduated from Norfolk State, so we was right down the road from y'all. You know, even though
wow.
even though I'm in Minnesota. So shout out to that. There's a lot of talent out there.
There is.
Yeah, in the Virginia area. So, yeah, man, it really doesn't matter the sounds that you have. It's really on how you put it together, how you arrange it to make it sound like a unique package. Don't be afraid to, find an old school track too and sample it, chop it up, and put your stamp on it. That's what it's about.
Indeed. So on that note, before we let you go, because I know you got things to do out there, but where can the people find your music? Where are you at?
Okay, so I just dropped an EP. It's called Cloud Surfing. Okay, it's kind of like a story. You taking a flight. It's a 7-track EP. It's well put together. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. It's on YouTube. It's on Bandcamp. I'm on Instagram. My picture you got right here on the screen. That's my Instagram handle. You can find me on there. All types of links. I would love to link with anybody that's out there that's would like to work with a good producer that's up and coming. Shout out to the brother Issac. That track that he put together that he played was dope. It sounds real teenage love, kind of summer, feel to it. It was real nice. I would love to put some drums and some kicks and some snares on the back end of
that. I know you got. I know that.
Going crazy, man.
I heard the song. I was like, "Ooh, I'm waiting for the boom bap to come in."
I was thinking the same thing. See, producer's mind.
Yep. I heard it. I like it though. Miss Bypass Fashionista.
Oh, hey. Hi.
All right. Congratulations for taking the step that you've taken and doing what you're doing. Brother Joe,
thank you so much.
Nice to meet you. Keep plugging people with them good flights. Miss ChynaDoll, salute. I've seen your pictures on the gram through DGroove's page. It's nice to speak with y'all. Thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate you coming on, my brother. Appreciate you.
Now, some of our guests had to go because they just had to go. But before Miranda has got to be to another event, I did want to make sure that we got a final nugget from each of you before we end our show. It's not over yet. Okay. We got 10 minutes if y'all still want to talk. But before she goes, is there one last thing that you'd like to leave with the guests before the next time you come on this show?
Well, first, follow me on _bypass Fashionista on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook as the Bypass Fashionista. I am also on Facebook as Miranda McCray, and also on Instagram as Ms. MIZZ _misfit. I would just like to say, be yourself. I've always been myself. I realize that myself is what it is. And I've stepped into my power, and my takeaway or goal to send off everybody with is to love on each other. Let's stop hating.
Yep.
Let's just love each other and say, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for producing. I'm proud of you for putting together a travel agency for us. I'm proud of you putting together a platform for us to come and voice our opinions.
Right.
Love is.
I'm proud of you.
Yes, thank you. Love is everything.
Yes.
And just love on each other, because we don't be loving on each other.
Yeah.
That's my giveaway, y'all. Sweet now. Hey, love, sweet love. Yes.
Let's pass that on to Brother Joe. Brother Joe, how about you? What's your final thoughts on today?
All right. Just a couple of things. One, I'll invite you all to follow me on social media, Facebook, Living Your Bucket List Travel, on Instagram, at Living Your Bucket List Travel, and Twitter at LYBL Travel. I'd also like to say that if you have any upcoming travel plans, please get in touch with me. Let's have a free travel consultation. I will provide you an incentive for your time. If you know of anyone that's looking to plan a trip and you refer them to me and they book a trip, I will provide you that same incentive. And if you do book a trip with me, I will actually provide you with a buy one, get one free type of vacation package. details to come.
Did he say BOGO girl?
He absolutely said BOGO. I'm looking up your handle right now. What's that?
I said it.
He said free
I
a
did.
lifetime.
Free.
Yeah, I said it. Yes, I did.
There it is.
Yep. And then the last thing I'd like to say is just again to Chyna and DGroove, just thank you all for setting up such a wonderful platform. And thank you for these wonderful guests that I've been able to share this time with. So, and to the listeners as well, thank you all for joining and spread the word.
Indeed. Appreciate you for coming in, Joe. Now, last but not least, Mr. Mondavvy Beats, what's your words to take us out?
Definitely be yourself unapologetically. Don't be afraid to step out on a limb. This is our only life, and tomorrow's not promised, so do it today. That's it.
Do it today.
Yes.
Today.
That's it.
Yes, indeed. All right, sir. Go ahead and back out there, get you some hot chocolate. No, it's not cool.
You're going to hear from me. I'm definitely going to bug him about beats for real.
Yeah,
I'm available. I'm
All
available.
right. Now you heard that. Then we're gonna hold her to that. So I'll get with you, no doubt. I appreciate you for coming in, my brother. Appreciate it.
It's all love, man. Appreciate it, y'all. Y'all dope.
All right. All right. Well, now that we're back in the studio.
She's got to go, so we're going to let her go ahead.
Dude, thank you so much. Thank you for the platform. I'm supporting y'all in whatever you do. You are like one of the dopest couples. I'm always liking it. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, look at that little matching picture. It's good to see that. You don't see that a lot, and that needs to come back.
It's love.
Yeah, because
together,
y'all you can't put it apart, you know? Like, it's everything. So thank you so much.
Not this time.
It's all
We separated for a little while before we got back together. So
that's okay though. That's okay. That's what I like to see. Black love is still existing. Thank y'all.
Peace.
All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Bypass Fashionista. That was Brother Mondavvy Beats. That was Brother Joe Foster. That was Mr. Harry of House of Perjahnae. That was Mr. Issac Da Greatest. What a show, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you for tuning in. We thank you for catching up with us. We thank you for being with us. We just thank you.